Welcome again, humanoids, to the latest edition of the Two Left Feet, the unofficial Your Party podcast. It is the post-conference not-so-special edition of the Two Left Feet. It's not so special in so many ways, and more so than just the host, and that is me, Dafydd Vaughan. But for the most not-so-special version of this, the post-conference not-special version of the podcast, I nearly forgot the word then. Please welcome the co-host with the most, the consigliere of the Two Left Feet. Please welcome the co-host that is the best and most extreme and extremist of them all, former councillor Jabez. How are you this evening?
Not feeling special.
Not feeling special.
Feeling
on this,
quite extreme.
Yes, on this not so special.
Not so special.
Post-conference.
Yep.
Edition. Then, and of course, the inaugural conference happened this past weekend on the 29th and 30th of November. We're here on the 5th of December because it's taken us all week to even contemplate doing a podcast on the subject. Oh, certainly for me. I don't know about for you.
Well, I messaged you on Wednesday saying, "Are we going to record the podcast?" And yeah, I think the response from you was no.
Let's give it another day. Give it another day to settle.
Yeah.
It coming up to Christmas as well. It does feel like we've everyone's got stuffed one way or another. The turkey is out. Lots to talk about. We're only going to do the conference special today, which is being released today. So this episode comes out today on Friday the 5th. Not to open the curtain and let you see who is behind the curtain operating all of the mechanisms and levers. The wizard is in control, but we are going to record another episode for the beginning of next week later on, and we're going to be talking about other things that happen, including, like you said last week, which was to do with jury duty. And there have been movements on that, but we'll talk about that on the next episode. This episode is all about what was supposedly an inaugural conference, the founding conference for your party. It was the triumph for the day for many people who made sure that your party is indeed their party, or at least that's what a lot of people seem to feel about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
How do you feel?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I really don't care. After this past weekend, I thought conference was brilliant, but I thought conference for those of you who were watching on the shorts that I was outside conference, because I didn't get sortition, I wasn't allowed in. For those of you who, thank you for stopping and doing a couple of vox pops with people, giving opinions. Thank you to those who listened and watched the shorts, and definitely thank you to those who subscribed. I did. Let's go. I mean, let's start the whole conference thing with how it started, and we'll just go through periodically what happened and when.
Okay.
And then discuss the subjects as they came up then.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I wasn't sortition, but I had booked a room in Liverpool many weeks before, possibly also because it coincided with Everton playing at home that Saturday evening, and it was a late kickoff, and that was brilliant, apart from the result and actually the whole game and getting to it. But that's another story. So I thought 2 birds, 1 stone, and if I don't get sortition, I can do the podcast outside anyway, which I did. Which actually, for me, I felt to be the better position of the day or of the weekend, because the number of, how would you call them, high-ranking individuals who I got to speak to, even in passing with a couple of things going on, was quite exciting.
Good.
Part of press scrums and gaggles, and there was certainly quite a few giggles. Protest groups and cancer demonstrators and people getting thrown out, and also it was chaos. It was beautiful chaos. But from the outside the main doors, where it was all happening there, and I was in the middle of it, and it was that part was brilliant. In terms of how could I put it? my experience of what was going on. Yeah, interesting. I tried to document it as much as possible on the shorts, the YouTube shorts. So if you don't know what I'm on about on the main podcast, if you go to our YouTube channel and find the Two Left Feet there, subscribe. Please subscribe everywhere now, because I've realised this was the first sort of issue that I had.
Oh yeah,
is that I was going to do, and in my head I was going, well, I haven't been sortition. I'm going to go anyway.
Mhm.
I could just be outside reporting from the outside to our listeners here on the Two Left
Good
Feet,
idea.
what's going on, and then try and grab people for conversations and basically try and give a little bit of an inside or an outside look to the Insider Conference, if you get what I mean. Instantly, I found out that our YouTube channel and our podcast channel, so we get through a company called Podbean, is our host. So this platform host for the podcast. They require a minimum number of subscribers to allow you to do a live feed, which, if you think about it, it's reasonable. So you can't just set up a channel and instantly do a live feed and then.
Yep. Don't criticize our hosts.
No, I'm not. I think it's a sensible thing, and I didn't think about it beforehand, because it stops people from.
Well, it takes a bandwidth, doesn't it? It's a huge amount of bandwidth,
and as well, it stops people setting up spurious channels, doing a live feed,
just pressing the live
button,
just having it on.
Yeah, and at least they have to demonstrate that they have people following them.
Yeah.
So on the Podbean platform, we actually have to have 100 subscribers to do a live podcast. So for us to do live podcast in future, there actually has to be 100 people on. I think Podbean.
That's okay. I'm never doing a live podcast ever. So that's fine.
Yeah, but then I think it also takes into account Spotify subscribers and all the other ones.
All the other ones.
Yep. Deezer and I'm not going through them now because wherever, if you're listening to this through a podcast platform, subscribing to that adds to the total, and there's got to be 100 in total. If you're on YouTube, and even if you're on both, go to YouTube especially, because that's the video content. If we ever need to do it again in future, and I hope we do, because it was actually quite fun in some respects, we need 50 subscribers. Thank you to those who did subscribe. We nearly got there. We were 19 short, so we're on 31. Which, if you think about it, I mean, considering how
niche left-wing podcast.
Considering how many people actually listen to this podcast and how many people subscribe, I've never actually gone down the whole subscribe and like and please, can you subscribe? It's really important.
I mean, you should subscribe.
Well, you should,
because it costs you nothing.
It does cost you nothing, but
that's my way of doing it.
Okay, well done. But I've not been bothered by that, because I'm not bothered about the number of people listening. It's the quality. It's the quality of our listeners and the quality of our audience out there, who are obviously a cut above the rest, because you're already 10 minutes into a podcast and I'm just going on about subscribing and you're still listening. So you're brilliant. You're all brilliant people, because you know the content ahead.
The best people.
The best people ever. Is great. But in terms of when we do this again, and in all fairness, I'm thinking about doing a few other conferences of other parties, and then it's a great thing to do. We do need 50 subscribers on YouTube, please. Please get us past 50, so it's not a problem anymore. And I won't ask you again, and it's up to you after that. But yeah, so I was banished to the world of shorts, not trouser shorts. I mean, God help anybody seeing me in trouser shorts. I mean, that looks like I'm just bloody flossing. But in terms of what I had to do, is that shorts only give you 3 minutes tops.
Right.
So they recommend 15 seconds for a short, or 15 to 30 seconds, and 3 minutes maximum. So I was going maximum every time, and then trying to get as much as I could in a 3 minute period, and trying to get speakers like Len McCluskey and Sarah Sultana and Tony Greenstein, I think it was. Who else did I get? Oh, Chris Williamson. A few other things happened over the weekend. I could have got a lot more. There was a lot of moments where the camera was away, and it was off my phone, obviously.
Yeah.
But the camera was away because I was in between shorts, or it wasn't available at the time. Had I had a live feed, there would have been a lot more stuff on camera. I think I got the moment where a police officer went past Sarah Sultana and under his breath went "fuck off."
All right.
Under his breath. It is on one of the shorts. I think Zara's film, because she had someone following her with a camera. I did ask him, did he have it on camera? He said he was going to check. I don't know. Not that it matters, but
I think it does matter. Don't
Does
think
it?
coppers should swear at
At
anyone.
elected officials?
No, not really.
And
Member of Parliament.
And well, as a public servant.
Yeah, I know she's a bit of a renegade, but she's still a member of Parliament.
Maybe an
elected
officer
people
shouldn't do that, but there was that. All sorts of things then happened through the weekend. I'm sure we'll discuss a couple of them. But in terms of from the podcast side, thank you to those who listened. There's 11,000 people who viewed the shorts.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now.
With something like 5,000 watch hours, I think it's equated to. Because I think there's people who've picked us up and then gone back onto previous episodes and started listening to what we're saying.
Fair dues.
So
you're in for a shock.
Oh God! I mean, this. I mean,
none of it is as interesting as the shorts.
Start from now, because there's a lot of the previous episodes and the catalogue of episodes are all up everywhere, but they're all slightly out of date, and most of them. Certainly, the first 17 or 18 are.
It's the first 18, isn't it?
That's
when
we were in the other place.
Yeah,
the darker place, the place where there were slightly more rules and governed in a different way, where possibly it might have been, in hindsight, maybe a bit more time tested. We'll see, because the results are the results and the votes are the votes, and the first thing that happened in conference is what I was presented with was a load of marquees and a protest, and the protest was from the SWP.
What were they protesting about?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I do, but I don't know. If
I love your style of journalism.
I went there and I looked at what they're protesting about, and it was because their explanation was they had people that were expelled from the party, and I sort of said, well, how have you been expelled from a party that doesn't exist yet? Because until conference sort of ratifies a constitution, there is no party to start off with. So the technically not expelled. And then I sort of made the point with a few of them, well, if it says on the membership portal when you apply that it's it does say and state you cannot be a member of any other party if you're applying to this one, your membership may be revoked.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
We disagree on this.
Well, it's not that we disagree on this. I mean, to be fair, the vote for dual membership was
anyway. It's a moot point. So
it was absolute moot point.
Mm-hmm.
It was a thing. I sort of said, is it a legal standpoint on the fact from the Electoral Commission side that you can't be a member of two parties unless the constituency of the parties allow it, in terms of like the cooperative party constitutions of the constitutions between like the cooperative party and the Labour Party allow it. So that's where the law comes from.
Sure.
Certainly electoral law. This then, and I know what point you're about to make, but I don't
need to make it. It's a moot point. Doesn't matter.
It is all a moot point. And really, it is Karen,
or as Joey from Friends would say,
Karen Murphy, that's just trying to.
It's all moo.
It's all moo. Yeah. It's a moot point.
Yeah. How does Karen feel about it? Is it Karen or Carrie? I always thought it was Carrie.
Or Carrie Murphy.
Yeah.
Carrie Murphy. Sorry. I don't know why I got the term Karen.
Carrie Murphy. That was a very good joke, listeners. If you didn't miss that, I might even make him repeat it. But that was a very good joke.
And it is a case of there's a bit of a hoo-ha, and at the end of the day,
Basically, there were a few people who the leadership didn't want to be there.
Is it the leadership? What leadership? There's no leadership.
Well, the people who
The
decide.
organisers,
Okay, the
stewards.
organisers. Fair enough. Who didn't want them to be there for whatever reason, right? And they
because they've been a
used
pain
the
in the
terms
backside for the last 5 months.
yeah, and they used the terms and conditions that the party have constructed, and they've interpreted them in a particular way, and that meant a few people couldn't go inside. We've now resolved that as a membership.
Yeah,
that you can hold.
Literally, the vote was about 4 hours later.
Yeah,
for dual membership.
Mm-hmm.
But they still weren't.
Well, with allied parties.
Yeah, but then here's the other point. This is with aligned.
Mm-hmm.
SWP aren't a political
They're not a party. That's
they're
my point.
Yeah, well, because that was the point that got put to me by an SWP member. So we're not an actual party.
Nope.
We're not a registered party. We're a party in terms of name.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, my thing was, well, that's been slightly disingenuous to the people listening or people looking from the outside. That if you call yourself a party, then you are a party.
Yeah, I think.
And if you're not a party when you call yourself a party, well, that's like, well, actually, I'm not going to give that example because.
Oh yeah,
I gave that example previously, but that's like saying Mick over there is a
Trotskist.
No, I was going to say Mick the digger guy.
Yeah,
Mick the dig.
Yeah,
is he a digger guy? Do we know he's a digger guy?
Mm-hmm.
We call him a digger guy. By the way, this example, it was a different occupation, but slightly more hilarious and possibly more broadcastable is the digger version of it. Yes. Anywho, in terms of from the outside, he's a digger guy. Mick is a digger guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's there with a shovel or a digger, and he's digging.
Right.
Do we know either way?
What's on his CV?
What's on his CV? Yeah.
Yeah, we don't actually know.
Can we prove it?
No.
But we take it that he's a digger guy.
Yeah.
SWP. It's the Socialist Workers' Party. Therefore, it's a party. Until proven otherwise.
Well, I mean, you can be a bit more nuanced with how law works. Like if the reason they're in that group and is to fight politically, then you could call it a political party. If the terms and conditions say you can't be a member of any other party, and that's based on the Electoral Commission's interpretation of the rules, that derives from fighting in elections. So you can't be a member of two parties fighting in elections because that would cause problems. That's not the case here because the SWP are not a party that fights elections unless they put candidates under a TUG.
Anyway,
but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It all doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In terms of what the SWP now are, I think the SWP are Sarah Sultana's version of Momentum. They're now
okay.
They're now her.
Why do you think that?
Because that's exactly what it was over the whole weekend. It was the SWP.
Oh, because she didn't go in because she boycotted it.
Oh God, yeah, right. That was.
Was she a servant of the SWP or are they a servant of her? What's the relationship?
I think it's symbiotic.
Oh right.
She is certainly a spokesperson for the SWP.
Yeah.
She
does realise she was already leading a party which had 50,000 members.
Yeah.
She didn't particularly need to go down the route of allying herself with.
Yeah. But there's enemies within.
Oh right.
There's enemies of faceless, unnamed people who she kept saying was Gary Murphy.
I mean, yeah, I can name them right now.
Yeah. I mean, and this is if she wants to speak quite loudly in public places as well, there you go.
Yeah.
Which she was doing. And then this is the thing, it's like they've all fallen out. It is all a fallout amongst them. And we didn't need to see any of that. We didn't need to see that publicly. We didn't need to see it in any shape, form whatsoever. And Zara goes and throws a dummy out the pram. I'm not going in there. I'm not doing this. I'm going to.
Is it throwing out the pram? No.
Yes, it was.
Why?
because I stood there and
I
listened.
thought
to
you
her.
were going to say because I said so.
No,
I was like, great, brilliant.
I stood there and listened because the thing is, like I said, I was on the bit where they were all coming out doing media interviews.
So it looked like a strop.
It looked like
right?
a massive strop. It looked
and
it looked like because
the reason I'm sort of slamming my microphone around, the reason I'm sort of putting against it, she's often accused of being stroppy or childish or throwing her dummy out of the pram, immature, when actually she's standing up for quite a significant position, which is a members-led party movement. All of her actions can be explained by an utter devotion to this principle, which I'm also devoted to.
I'm not saying...
but you're saying it even despite that, it still looks shit.
Yes.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with that. I don't think it looks good.
No, it didn't look good at all. I'm not.
She could have got on stage.
She
and spent a few.
She wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
She could have been in the conference room making these points. She could have been there.
That's true.
And even okay, she could have been in the holding room before the actual conference room where everyone was chatting and talking. She could have been there talking to membership and talking to people, and actually persuading people as a politician to make sure that the most important thing about a politician is communication and talking to people. She should have been in that room talking to people.
Yeah.
Instead, she went for a coffee, and she went across the road to the hotel across.
Had a chat with.
I know when Jones followed her and went off and did an interview there, and then she goes and does an interview with Novara Media and whoever else. She knew what she was doing. She was trying to get maximum exposure. Why? The votes were going to be won anyway. The dual membership vote was going to be won. Everything the SWP had put forward was going to be won. The membership agrees with them on most points. So what's the point? Why create a division when the membership actually was voting that way anyway? Other than,
I mean, well, you've been in this situation before where you think where the sort of secretariat, the bureaucracy around the party, makes you feel at a loose end, makes you feel like you can't possibly win because the machinery is against you.
It's not up
Do you
to
think she possibly jumped the gun, or possibly just went, right, I'm setting off the nuclear bomb now because they're going to stop all this?
Why did you do it on the first day? Why?
I didn't do anything.
I mean the figures of it. Okay, she said, "Oh, there's people being suspended and everything," and she thought, "Oh, there's a stitch up here. There's a stitch up." That was one of her phrases.
Yeah.
And then it went round, and James Giles was saying the same thing, and he's
who's James Giles?
So he's one of Zara's people.
Okay.
He's a councillor down in Kingston upon Thames. I think he is.
Fair enough.
I think he's the opposition council leader down there. He's got interesting sort of mannerisms, but he's very, very, very. I mean, he basically he reminded me of sort of Peter Mandelson to Tony Blair.
Oh right.
That as Mandelson was to Tony Blair, he's
leader of the opposition on Kingston upon Thames.
Yes, Thames, yeah. So I did get it right.
You did.
I remembered it well. Thank you very much. And he was taking interviews, and they seemed to use this language that they were the oppressed minority within the party, when actually, as we saw with the votes, they're the majority. They had the majority. They had the majority of the votes. And it was completely unnecessary. Zara's job for the weekend was to accept that they had the votes, accept that the majority of the motions put forward were going to carry. Okay, there were a couple of close ones, but not many. I think there's about two that were actually...
Yeah, the collective leadership one was close.
But there was arguments both ways.
Should have been, yeah.
I think
that was an important...
I mean, I voted for a single leader, but...
What?
I did, but I voted for a single leader, but I don't care either way. Either way will work fine. And I think most sort of...
I think the single leader model was grounded... Well, we'll get into the results, but the single leader model was grounded enough with safeguards that it wasn't just going to become
it wasn't
the same as a Labour Party.
No, it wasn't a top down. It was Anyway.
Interestingly, Councillor Giles, I've just looking on his X feed. he's got his cover picture as Zara Sultana with him in the corner, which I just find as an image quite interesting
and quite accurate.
Yeah.
You look back at any of the interviews across the weekend with Zara, and he positioned himself like just off Zara's.
That's literally what the picture is,
and it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you look at one of my shorts, I get the moment where he sneaks back into conference.
Oh right.
So he was
breaking news.
So yeah, we're completely destroying it. Because he gained entry into conference after being ousted.
Really?
So, yeah. So on the Saturday morning, he was one of the people that got told he was not allowed in. And on the Sunday afternoon, Sunday at dinner time, when Zara, because there's a short that I've got of a press gaggle, so Zara doing a press gaggle.
Now,
if you go, so he's to my
Here we
right.
go, guys. We're watching a video on the podcast, and you're listening.
I'm not watching it.
I'm watching.
You're watching it. So I mean, you can't really hear what's saying because I'm just taking the picture of the gaggle because I'm more interested in the function of what the press.
Oh, there he is.
See him there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's on the right hand side of me.
Yeah.
Looking quite
I like a suit.
intent.
Yeah.
Intensely intent on being in the picture frame. Now, if you move to the end of the short, where Zara's bodyguard then says clear the way and let everyone through, and I'm in a position because Zara comes immediately past me, so I get the perfect shot of her walking past and then
there
going
she is. Yeah.
into. Watch James Giles. He then hurries up, trots behind her, and then walks in through security because the security on the doors
they're not going to stop Zara.
They're not going to stop Zara, and the bodyguard and the press who are all got passes, and they miss him, and he goes in. Not that he shouldn't.
Well, there we go, listeners.
So that's how
security breach.
Security breach, right there. And I got it on, here on the two left feet.
That's it. We got him. We got him.
Yeah.
A week late, but we got him.
However, he should just been allowed in anyway.
Well, yeah, of course. None of us matters. It's fine. Just let them all in. Doesn't matter.
He had every right to be in there.
I don't think we should ban anyone from anything like that. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I think if you commit a crime or an offence, you shouldn't be allowed in.
Punching someone on the way in,
or a hate crime. If you're saying things that are obviously, a hate
Sorry,
offense.
Is this for reasons to be banned from the conference hall?
Yes.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. So I think if you say controversial,
what about now being because of dual membership of being a member of Reform Party and your party, and saying that there are actually connections between the two because the disenfranchisement of the British public towards politics.
The thing that was actually voted for was that dual membership is allowed with allied parties
and groups and associations.
Yeah. And
what if?
And the CEC defines what that means, which is obviously a concern I have because I don't think people should be deciding the definitions of anything.
Should it go to conference? Thing is, on the other side, we'll go through the votes in a second, but there are other votes that were taking place that could make it possible that the membership could be asked all the time about things.
I think, why not?
Because it could be on your phone now.
Yeah.
Through the app, through the portal. The leadership can now, because they've been given permission, that decisions can.
There's a little window's appeared if you go on your
on the
thing.
App. On the app or on the
web page. I don't use the app.
I think the app crashed.
Votes and elections, and then it just says underneath none currently.
I've got voting on the app.
Yeah.
And all the different things. Yeah.
And then our newsletter will inform you when the next all-member vote or election starts.
Yeah, which that I complete right. We'll go through the votes in a minute. We'll talk about that. So then we'll do that after the break.
Cool.
Just to finish up on sort of my experience of being on the outside.
Yeah.
Also got to chat. I was sort of in the middle of quite a lot of things. Owen Jones is terrified of me.
Oh, right. Why is he terrified?
He's done this before. Okay. I've met him quite a few times. Yeah. And every time, because I'm quite much taller than and I'm a more broader person.
Yeah.
Not in every sense of the word, but quite a lot. He just sees me as a
angry Welsh Scottish bear.
As a
angry Welsh bear.
Scottish.
Yeah. I'm watching a lot of Scottish stuff at the moment.
As a
Rob Roy.
Okay.
I can't say.
Thank
anyway,
you.
Yep.
Rob Roy.
Yeah,
Rob Roy.
Rob
Yeah.
Roy.
Rob Roy.
Rob Roy.
Yeah, so that he just sort of looks at me quite as though I'm going to say very right-wing things and shouty things at him. When it wasn't.
I mean, every time we start this podcast, I expect that. I suspect that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it never does.
I just got that look.
Yeah,
got that look.
And then you don't say horrible right-wing
Not
things.
right, but apart from
yeah,
get your act together, but
yeah, that's not right-wing,
isn't it?
Get your act together.
Well, I don't know.
Do some work.
I don't know.
Sorry, what?
All the snowflakes will start melting.
So so you spoke to Owen Jones?
Oh, briefly.
Yeah.
Brief. In terms of, he was. The two times that I sort of interacted with him, he told me that he was pumped for conference.
Great.
Yeah, that if you're on the YouTube channel, you know what happened after that conversation. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe. And then brief moments on the Saturday late morning when Zara walked away and said she was going
for a coffee.
And then Owen went off and went to interview her and all the rest of it. And then I met over the weekend. I briefly spoke to Len McCluskey. Very nice fella.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you forget these until you're sort of in a space with them and you're just talking normally. Just normal people. You expect sort of massively great oratory sort of speeches from them all the time, and actually it's isn't it?
It looked very cold.
It was that where the entrance was for the conference was like it was a wind tunnel.
Yeah,
because between the two buildings, so the second part of the conference center plus the big arena across the way, that was like a channel where every cold icicle from the Mersey was blowing in on us. The other bits, you also speak to Chris Williamson, a few members of the SWP.
How's Chris doing?
He's doing fine.
Calm, collected?
No, not at all.
Blinking more? Is he okay? Sorry.
He's I hate to say it, from the last time I spoke to him at a gathering years ago now, before he was expelled from the Labour Party, he does see enemies everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's very suspicious of everyone he talks to, and every conversation. I don't know, it could be my luck as well. It could be just because, they judge a book by its cover.
I mean that's interesting coming from him, because he looks like he's pretty hard-edged and pretty paranoid. But
I'd say that.
And he should be. No, I don't think.
No, I think he just took a look at me and sort of.
Yeah, he went through a difficult time. I think.
Oh, everybody was after him.
Yeah.
In terms of politics he was in.
I think sometimes justifiably, but it's
they stuck the boot in.
They did. They made sure he was gone.
Yeah.
But
Jeremy.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Corbyn.
Which one? Oh, Corbyn.
Yeah. Briefly spoke to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was quite content with what was going on. And a few other people. Yeah, and this is the thing, because out on the outside of where the conference, where the press was,
I need to stop watching the shorts. Sorry, Dav's getting very, very annoyed.
Do watch the shorts. But generally, I think people were apprehensive going in. There were a lot of new time people to conference that never been to like a Labour conference or a Green conference, so they didn't know what to expect. I think a few of them that hadn't been to anything like that before were completely taken aback by how speakers were picked and get up to the stage and the podium to speak. More experienced people who have been in Labour, more Labour or trade union conferences before, would knew that sort of things like, if you're with a certain group, stick together because voices count.
Yeah, because it wasn't an abnormal conference. It looks very normal to me.
Oh,
when I was watching it.
Oh God, yeah.
I watched the live stream of during my downtime.
It looked like
Yeah.
a Labour conference.
It just
with
bit darker, a bit more purple.
More purple.
Yeah.
And more sort of it didn't have
it looked like a trade union conference, to be honest.
It didn't but the conversation was slightly different. The conversation was obviously far more to the left. You didn't have any sort of centrist speakers saying, yes, but we have to remember, we
have to be normal, guys. Let's be normal. Let's stop being crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
Well, I see that there were a couple of speakers, and there was one lady, Susanna from Devon, who I think is subscribed to the channel
good.
now, who I did speak to. She stood to speak for, I can't remember now. Oh yeah, that was it. So she spoke to go against putting the term socialist in the
political statement.
Yeah. And I spoke to her about it, and she was quite concerned. She said, what people aren't forgetting, yes, it needs to be said that we're a socialist movement, and that's fine because we all know that, but do we have to actually ram it down the electorate's throat? Do we have to convert them into socialists and for them to support us, for them to believe in the ideals of socialism? Or do we say, we believe in socialism, trust us and vote for us to be able to carry out our policies to bring a better world for you? She was thinking more of the electoral standpoint of
That's
it.
fair. I think, just briefly on that, I think both of them are hard ways of doing it. I don't think there is an easy way of doing it. I think one of them is more honest, which is, we are socialists. And that's it would be my view.
Well, I mean,
I struggle to say it because of that sort of feeling that all socialism. But I make myself say it now because I am socialist.
Which my argument was, the whole term of socialism has to be rebranded.
Yeah,
and it has to be defined. It has to be defined in a certain way.
And that's the thing. No one in your party is defining it at the moment on purpose.
Because we all disagree on it, and it's another disagreement. They the term socialist is in the standing document now, but I think there has to be a conversation of what does it mean? Because we've spoken about this privately, where we've gone,
what is socialism?
What is your version of socialism?
Yeah,
you've said it's a broad spectrum that covers communism to just throwing 20p in a beggar's cup.
Well, I think that's the political science term. I think my view would be it's simply anti-capitalism, and I've been told I'm wrong on that.
I disagree with you. I don't think it's anti-capitalism at all.
Yeah,
I think it's a mechanism that can work within any system, with any economic system. Socialism can work in capitalism. It can work in barterism.
I'm not necessarily saying
in all of those.
I'm not saying they can't work together, but I'm saying socialism is an antithesis to capitalism. It's almost the opposite. And
that's if you see this thing.
This is what happens. See, we've just demonstrated what happens.
Yeah, and this thing, because I had an exact same conversation with a Marxist.
Yeah,
who said exactly the same thing. You can't be a socialist and a capitalist.
Oh my god, am I a Marxist?
If you believe in that, then
no, I don't. You can be both.
And the thing, like my sort of take on Marxism is, the revolution's happened. It's been and it's gone.
Well, that's a controversial view.
Well, it's not really, because the last part of the 20th century saw massive amounts of the working class being able to afford healthcare and afford housing and afford all the necessities of life, and enjoy the fruits of the human condition. Normal working class people enjoy art, enjoy dramas and theatres and everything that the human race can produce. The working class has been able to enjoy, and it's been a choice. So in terms of where the revolution lies, it has already happened. It's been and gone. It is now old hat. It's an old theory. Yes, okay, there's principles that could be applied to today, but it needs to change. There needs to be a volume 2, a second edition of Das Kapital that takes into account.
How long Das Kapital?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you got it.
Yes, it's up on the shelf over there. So, and I do, flick from bits to bits. You not see it? It's up there. Well,
Yeah, sorry, this is just dead air. Sorry about
dead
that.
air.
While I look at your bookshelf.
While you look at my bookshelf.
Yeah.
But it's this whole thing. What is socialism? Because I don't believe that we all signed up as a socialist on the same footing. I think there's an elephant in the room where their version of socialist is different to my version of socialist. And when they all say, we're all socialists together, I think we're not sort of realizing it does mean different things to us all. Because socialism to me is the necessities of life that should be free at the point of use, or certainly at cost.
Yeah.
You know, it's to a degree where the state does ensure that you can have healthcare, education,
and
housing,
even within that
communication,
even within that simple phrase, which isn't simple, but
cradle to grave services.
But there's a complex set of levers there which you can adjust and change and move around.
Yeah.
And so even within that sort of definition, you have differences, and that's not going to be solved by your party. There's not enough time.
No. Anyway,
but,
we will talk about
Yeah.
about maybe the concept of socialism. If you want to get in touch over that, come on, there's more subscribers now to the channel, so please sort of, we need a little bit of feedback to go on. What's your version of socialism? What does it mean to you? Have you signed up to a socialist party in the same way that your comrade from down the road has signed up to it? You know, it is a point that we do need to address now, because even though the term socialist and socialism is in the founding documents, that can mean slightly different things to different people. You can get in touch on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
So through the messenger on the Facebook page, Two Left Feet. You can drop a comment on the YouTube channel. Drop a comment on, I think, most of the podcast platforms. It gets back to us through the Podbean platform. I don't know how that works, but somehow,
if you go through Facebook,
it does
we both get it, because I get it as well.
Yes, you get that because you're an admin.
If it's any of the other ones, I won't get it.
No.
So if you want to abuse me, use Facebook.
Go through Facebook.
And I won't read it anyway.
Yeah,
because I don't care. No, I do care about your opinions.
Yeah, we check. I try and check things before an episode.
Normally, Dav sends me a message saying, "Oh, this person disagrees with you. Can you come up with a response?"
Yeah.
And then I go to town and. But yeah, what's next after the break? We've got
we'll go to a break and then we'll go and we'll talk about the votes, and then
votes. Great, I've got that ready.
And then we'll finish up, and then that's today's episode. Yes, if you want to get in touch on Facebook, on YouTube, on Podbean, on other podcast platforms, or by email at labourpod@gmail.com. It's still at Labour.
It's a hard-working pod.
I haven't changed it, because the good thing is now I don't have to change any of the titles, because your party is your party.
Yeah.
Great line there, Jezza. Great line. But it just means that I don't have to change
what other line could he have done? What else could he have said other than we've wasted our time?
Yeah. You picked the one.
Yeah.
That
you picked the placeholder.
Yeah. Well, as someone put it, and it's decided that the temporary name of your party, they've decided on a name. Checks notes. It's your party.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But then the other options that presented were awful.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the decision. We'll talk about the decision after the break.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, until after the break, we'll be back right after this. Humanoids, back in a second. Hello there, humanoids. We're back with the second segment of the Two Left Feet here today on the 5th of December 2025. I'm your host, Dafydd Vaughan, joined alongside the co-host with the most, the consigliere of the Two Left Feet. It's
Jabez Oaks.
Well done. Right, usually at this point of the show, we usually go to the island with the zoo on the island, with the tree in the zoo on the island, on the planet that's evolving and revolving at 100 miles an hour. That is the Our Country segment. But we're not going to do it this week because this is obviously a special. So we're just going to remind people that Nathan Gill is a traitor to the country who took bribes and has been prosecuted as such. who is now spending 10 years in prison for betraying the people and the electorate of this country. He is now on week 2 of his jail sentence. So good luck.
How many weeks has he got
Nathan.
left?
Oh, I'm going to count them all. So long as we do this podcast, I'm going to count them all and remind people that the Reform Leader in Wales is now in week 2 of his 10.5-year jail sentence for taking bribes from the Russian state. And so,
So he's got 124
million years.
Oh no, wait, that's months. 545 weeks left.
545. Do you reckon
Yeah.
we can get to episode 560,
Whatever
it is?
I sure hope so.
Just counting down the weeks where Nathan Gill is still in prison for bribery and corruption as the Reform Party leader in Wales, former UKIP, Brexit Party, and Reform Leader, friends with Nigel Farage, taking bribes from the Russian state in order for votes in the European Union. What was it? The MEP, wasn't he?
Yeah. Apart from that, quite a nice guy.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, great darts player. Yeah, loves a pint. So there you go. So just reminding that he's in there with his mate Nigel.
Yeah. This is not prison now. This is our country.
Oh, this is our country.
Just to be clear.
This is them sitting on the branches on a tree.
That's it. Yeah.
In a zoo on an island on a planet. So who else we got in this? So we got Nigel,
that
Mandy,
that nonce. What's his name?
Oh, be careful. Which one?
The convicted nonce for being a nonce.
Oh,
in the thick of it. Can't remember his name. Yeah.
Yes, for him that we mentioned a few.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in there. Oh God, I wonder.
Well, he's in the corner, isn't he? Just out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, no one really wants to talk to him.
Going, oh bother.
Even Mandy won't talk to him. Anyway,
no, but Mandy will say that he supports him completely. And hopes that he
apparently that's what he does.
Clear his name in the future.
That's not libelous. That's what happens.
That's what
apparently.
Happens with him. Yeah.
He supports. I can't say that. You might be. I can't say that.
Well, Mandy's saying that Jeffrey Epstein was. How did he put it? Wrongfully accused. Was that his put?
I can't remember the exact wording, and I'm not willing to place myself in that zone, I'm afraid.
Be interesting. I mean, so that's our thing this year. Anyway, so that's that segment. We will be back with our country on next week's episode, or the next episode when that comes out, and we'll return with whatever my pick is and whatever your pick is. Did you want any picks this week? Who would you have picked this week if you were going to pick anyone?
Donald Trump.
And why would you have picked Donald Trump this week?
Because he's calling for the execution of US senators.
Okay, so there you go.
Yep.
Nathan Gill still goes in.
Okay,
right.
That's fine. Okay.
Execution sentences. I mean,
yeah, they're the same. They're the same thing. Yeah.
Right. So results. So we're going to go through the votes of what happened at conference. We're going to try and explain what it means.
We're going to try
and the impact of each. Right. I'm going to go by this list over here, Mr. Oakes.
That's fine.
And this list is the time stamped lists. So as the results were given.
Okay.
So the first one on the list I've got is your party should explicitly signal it's a socialist party. We've just discussed this before the break. 80.26% of the vote went in favour of it. 19.74%. So 4 to.
That's worrying. I've got a different figure, but carry on. That's fine.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, why have you got a different figure?
I've got 80.20%, which isn't possible. So I think that's a typo. So, yeah. That must be a typo.
Oh, no. We haven't stumbled on something here, have we? Oh, I'm going to have to get the calculator out. Right, so we've got, it said a 50.61% turnout. Those eligible to vote were 21,017.
Listeners, you're about to discover why Dav likes politics.
21,017.
Involves
maths.
A lot of maths.
Yeah. So times 0.5061 turnout. So that was 10,636.7 people voted. How do you get a 0.7 when it's actual? All right, okay, it's percentages, I suppose. That doesn't make any sense. I was hoping that'd be.
Let's just carry on.
Right, okay. So no, it does. No, it does say. Oh, sorry, 21,017 eligible. It does say 10,363 people. Is that right? Have they got the maths there? What did I just say then? Times 0.5061 is 10,636 people. There is a 0.7. There is a 0.7 of a person out there who's a 0.7 of a member.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a joke there somewhere. I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure
Yeah.
what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go 50, so 10,636 times 0.8026, 8,536.45 members voted for this.
Interesting.
Yes.
So
okay,
80.2 presumably is the correct figure.
Times, well, I'm going to do that now. Times 0.802.
Yeah.
Is 8,530.072 members.
Okay. The percentages, it must be a rounding error.
I mean, I'd imagine it's to a larger decimal point that they've rounded up on that, but I suspect that is the closer value. I think there's a mathematical typo here, and maybe someone needs to.
So we just round up to the nearest whole number, so we avoid this discussion ever happening again.
Well, yes, but this is how
I'm not discussing maths.
But then
on the
this
podcast,
is how you find
care.
out. If someone's done their maths wrong, and someone's stuffed the vote,
this
is how you find out.
I don't care. Fine,
this is how
they
you
can
find
stuff
out.
it. That's
well, I'm
fine.
going to have my calculator next to me just to make sure, because this
you always do.
Yeah,
I don't know. Waiting for this moment.
Yeah, your party should explicitly signal it's a socialist party.
We've had that discussion, haven't we, about the problems with that phrase?
So 4 out of 5 members said yes.
Yeah.
1 out of 5 members said no.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the people who said no, and for the reasons I gave, that I agreed with Susanna for.
I can't remember how I voted.
Yeah, so. I just found it unnecessary to put it in. I think those people who joined that anyway, and in terms of the elections, don't need to ram it down the throats unless, like I pointed out, is we've got to rebrand and remarket the term socialism.
Yeah,
and we've actually got to decide on what socialism means.
Well, I think left wing serves the term that we all mean when we say socialist.
Yeah, I think left wing could have sufficed. But anyway, so that's that vote. Then the next one was results of your party should explicitly signal that the working class is at the heart of the social alliance it seeks to build. 77.85% in favour, 22.15% against. Is that the same as yours?
It's the same.
So with a 47.67 turnout, so it was lower, there were a lot more abstentions, with 10,018 people voting out of the 21,015 people eligible. I have no opinion on this either way. I voted for it because it was just.
Well, I voted against because I don't particularly like the term working class, in the sense of I think we really need to reassess what we mean by working class. And I would argue that unless you are one of the asset class or the wealth class, you're working class. So that means people who are perhaps earning 100, 200,000, maybe even more, they're working class. I think if you're working for the ability to live.
But someone earning 200 grand a year will have assets.
Possibly.
Well, they will.
Then they're out of the scope.
They're
out of scope. But some won't.
But does that mean they shouldn't support this party?
Don't know. This is the problem, you see. So this is where I don't particularly
like. Is this an exclusive club for people who are not part of the asset class?
I think we have to not accidentally exclude people like I perhaps just did.
Yeah.
And make sure that when we're talking about the people we want to redistribute wealth from, we're talking about the 1%.
Is so is working class not someone who owns a home?
Well, no, that's why I'm trying to move away from the term asset class.
Yeah,
I think that was a
but then
mistake.
this is the sort of
Yeah.
thing of if you own your own home,
Mm-hmm.
are you instantly in a different class to what this proposal is intended?
Mm-hmm.
This is
the problem
this
with
is the
it.
problem.
Yeah.
And
you can't name. I mean, you probably could have a list saying these people are not allowed in our party because they're not working class, and that list will probably be very short, in my opinion.
I think that list would be quite long.
There we go. So that's that. We have different opinions on what
Yeah.
working class means. Then
Because the thing is, I think you can be a successful working class person,
Yeah.
who has done well for themselves in whatever aspect, they're still working class.
Yeah.
I think as soon as that wealth transfers into, I don't know, I just seem to remember like a Fast Show sketch from, it was a Fast Show, it was a Paul Whitehouse sketch, where suddenly New Labour, it was the trendy middle class, and I think there is a boundary between the two, but I don't necessarily think that the politics.
Well, they would call it petty bourgeoisie.
Yeah,
so you have the petty bourgeoisie. I don't necessarily subscribe to that.
But I don't necessarily think that the bourgeoisie is. You say petty bourgeoisie, isn't necessarily not left wing.
No, I don't. I'm not saying that. I think the issue I have is that you shouldn't put. You shouldn't put Sir John Dyson in the same room as Elon Musk, right? Sir John Dyson is a horrifically rich, nasty, odious person who owns a huge tract of farmland in this country and benefits from it through tax and whatever else. In my view, he still forms part of a group that we're in, whereas Elon Musk doesn't, because he is a nearly a trillionaire piece of work who just corrupts and destroys different political scapes and landscapes. But maybe my dial is a bit too far one way. Do you know what I mean? So that's that, and I think that's where working class is problematic for me.
I think those two should have been combined.
Yeah.
And just done as left wing.
There are business people and sole traders who and I know who will object to being referred to as working class, but they definitely are working class. And vice versa.
Well, yeah. We'll get around to that in a second. But I'd combined those two and made it. This is a left-wing party.
That's it.
And then
there you go.
Leave that.
Fair enough. Yeah. Compromise. Did you hear that, guys? Compromise. Did you see that?
Oh my God, that's politics. Such a neoliberal thing to do.
That's actually politics. What just happened? We decided it wasn't worth arguing about.
Nobody was doing politics.
No one.
Nobody was doing politics on the weekend. Sorry, I mean just to cut.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing politics. Everybody was doing absolutes.
Oh, for God's sake.
It was, this is happening, or I'm walking, or I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That's
we'll get into that
attitude
possibly.
There.
Yeah, but
and here's the thing, and then I think there was, I think Owen Jones pointed this, I think one of his things over the week. It will end up being a party of those who last the longest. It will be a party of those who are engaged and are involved for the longest period of time. Yes, the enthusiasm for a lot of people who are dealing in absolutes now, but give it a year or two, and it will end up becoming it will be smoothed over by the people who are willing to do politics and politicking to smooth things over, ready for elections.
Well, that's what happened with Labour. It took 100 years, but that's what happened.
Yeah, and this is a restart. It's a reset button, but next one. Results for your party should be a mass party rooted in the broadest possible social alliance. I don't know what that means. I think I just sort of went, yeah, okay, for this one. Or did I abstain on this one? I can't remember. 47% turnout on it, so it was lower again. It was under 10,000. 9,896 people voted on this.
It's from a particular phrase in the political statement. So these are all affirming.
Yeah, but our task is to build a party for the many with a working class at its heart. Is from paragraph 3.
Yeah.
So remove mass and rooted in the broadest possible social alliance from paragraph 3. Giving our task is to build a party for the many with a working class at its heart. I don't understand why they remove mass, and so they basically I don't get it. I think the wording
So
was fine.
if you remove mass in a political context, now we're talking about real politics now.
Yeah,
we're not talking about real life. Like if you move mass, what you're saying is we want to be a sort of electoral mechanism party.
Yeah.
So we're fighting for elections, that kind of thing. Mass party means we're a bit more orientated towards members-led politics, bottom-up, grassroots.
Yeah.
And for us to vote in my view, correctly in favour of a mass party rooted in the broadest possible social alliance means we're much more. And again, you combine all of these into a party of the left.
Yeah,
a members-led party of the left could have been the phrase.
Then conference voted to remove that. Should conference vote no, the words mass and rooted to the broad. Oh no, sorry, yeah, it will be removed as follows.
So the one I have is the resulting phrase that was accepted.
Yeah. So the resulting phrase is
your party should be a mass party
rooted in the broadest possible alliance to build a party for the many with the working class at its heart.
Fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Great.
So who wanted to remove that?
Bastards. Sorry. No. People who think you don't want to sort of define your audience too early. Those sort of people. You know the kind of people
mass party.
Mass party makes it sound socialist and people marching with the flag. It makes it feel like that rather than
what?
Yeah.
Okay, leadership model. Right. Leadership model, close
controversial one. This is what upset people, isn't it?
So A was single leader, option B was collective leadership, and option B won 51.6%. So no way. This was the lowest turnout. This only had a turnout of 41.9%. 8,831 members voted. That's 2,000 votes down from the previous votes.
Yep.
That can't carry, surely.
Why?
Well, I mean, it can, but...
They're in the room, they decided not to vote.
Well, they decided they abstained.
Yeah.
That's insane. So, hang on, so...
Do you think it's a sort of problem with people don't understand the collective leadership thing? But they don't necessarily want a single leader, so they just abstain.
Or they just went, I don't care either way.
Yeah, because it's the same difference.
I mean, there's 2,000 people there who were engaged voting on their apps at home or watching who chose not to vote.
Yeah.
That's an abstention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we've spoken about this. I mean, it's at the moment, collective leadership.
Hang on, sorry, just to go back to that. Sorry, on abstentions, that also presumably includes people who weren't aware of it and didn't vote.
Yeah,
because for some of them, I couldn't vote because I was busy, so I couldn't vote. I couldn't get my app out and vote.
It's an abstention then.
Yeah,
because you didn't.
Yeah,
but you had 24 hours.
But we have to remember that. So we have to remember that abstentions includes people who.
Yes. Yeah, and it includes that. But then, as in, yes, but there are people who were actually voting the same time because they all came up.
Yeah.
Pretty much at the same time. 2,000 people saw that on their phones in the voting page on the app.
That's fair.
Yeah. And chose not to vote.
Oh yeah, I'm not denigrating it. I'm not saying. Yeah. When I say I missed it, I missed it by choice. I was aware of it, and I decided I'm not. Not this one actually. I did vote on this one.
Anyway, so
great.
I mean, at the moment, I think collective leadership is fine. We can come back to that in a year or two.
Well, the entire clause says collective leadership with the CEC returning in a year's time with different leadership models to be voted on.
Yeah.
So it is temporary.
That has scuppered the media.
Yeah.
That has on my page, scuppered the media now.
On my YouTube front page, I've got loads of stuff on the right wing. New statements, for example. New statement.
Try again.
The New Statesman, for example, quite a right wing journal, and they've got a half hour video on who's leading your party now.
Yeah,
so why would the right wing? Why would they give a shit who's ruling your party?
They don't get it.
And it's because it upsets them.
Oh, I saw a little podcast of two sort of white boys from Essex doing a podcast about your party and looking at clips.
Yeah.
They just
careful glass houses and all that.
Well, but yeah, absolutely. But they couldn't fathom, they couldn't get it in their heads what was going on. They were looking at some sort of the worst clips from the weekend, and all right, they were laughing at it and what they were joking about wasn't necessarily wrong, but when it came to certain things like this, the brains just couldn't.
Oh, who do I call a lefty prick now?
Yeah,
You get to call all of us a lefty prick. That's the beauty of it.
You point at everyone.
50,000 people you get to judge.
60.
Instead of what? 60?
60 now. It's gone past.
There
60,
we go.
You know.
Trotsky's entering.
Yeah. Next
Anyway.
one, result of dual membership. Clause 4, proposed by Roadmap Amendment. This was option A, dual membership. Okay. Option B, no dual membership. This won by 69.2% to 30.8% of a turnout of 42.5%, so 8,900 people, 8,947. Again, low turnout considering that.
Well, they're constitutional amendments, aren't they? No one cares. No one cares about the Constitution. If they read it, they would.
They read it, they care.
Because it's crap.
Yeah, but dual membership, I don't know. I voted against.
Did you?
I did.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Why did you vote against?
Get on the bus off. You know,
okay.
Is my you're with us. You're with us. If you're not, go elsewhere.
Fair enough. How does that coincide with the phrase "your party should be a mass party rooted in the broadest possible social alliance"? If you can't have dual membership, then it doesn't work, does it? Having the broadest possible social alliance.
Well, then I'm against that then.
Fair enough.
No, I think that
I like it when we have short debates.
I think that sort of means that we can work with them, but they don't get to decide.
Yeah,
the mechanism that within the party.
Okay, fair enough.
It just means that we can work with them, but they don't have a seat at a conference because of their membership elsewhere.
I think we've created a rod for our own back, because again, the term is aligned allied parties. That's going to have to be defined.
Oh God!
And because of the way these things always bloody
just
work,
makes
it means we're going to have a big debate every time they have a vote on what party is an aligned party.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have this debate instead of just having it once. We're going to have it
continuous
every time this issue comes up.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Do we ally with the the Judean People's Front or
probably the People's Front of Judea?
No, not those splitters.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. Monty Python, everyone.
Yeah, and there'll be a load of people going, "Oh, you're right wingers for saying that."
Oh, for saying Judea.
No.
Anyway.
Right. So, next one was the results of the what's this? Of branches. Oh yeah. The chorus of branches. What percentage is required to hold a quorum inaugural all members meeting for any branch constituency area? What constitutes choracy? And it was either 20%, 25%, 40%, 50%. So what did we do? So we did 40.94% said 20%, and that was the winning vote.
Yeah.
Then it was 27.78, 18.78, 12.5 in that order for B, C, and D.
Because anyone who's been involved in any party for a second knows you need a low threshold.
Yeah, because especially in rural areas where constituency sizes are huge.
Yeah.
And it's half an hour drives or hour drives from one end of the constituency to the other.
Well, even in urban environments, some people just don't want to be involved at that level, and that's okay.
No, they want to be members.
They want to put their money in, and they want
to be members. They don't actually want
They're happy to come out on canvas.
Yeah.
It's surprising every time there was an election how many people would come out to canvas.
Yeah.
But they did not want to be in meetings.
No,
and you would ask them, it's because I get to walk around and talk to people.
That
doesn't happen in meetings. No. So I'm not doing it.
And they normally sort of turn up for one meeting, maybe two, and then go, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
That's Labour meetings, by the way. Your party meetings, it's going to be.
I haven't been to any yet.
Sorry. Hang on, you're a different constituency.
I've been in a few exec meetings.
Yeah. So that's that one. Regions and branches. Oh, this was an important one. So regions and branches spending autonomy.
Yes, very pleased with this one.
So this was again a low turnout. It was 41.9%, but 66.43% in favour of all branches shall properly be resourced through regional party structures to be able to carry out the full range of organising activities in their communities, and shall have the autonomy over spending their own budgets. So that is,
it's a major win.
Yeah.
It is it's probably the big. I mean, it's one of those things where, oh, it's just the money side. Like, well, money's everything.
yeah,
And in this circumstance,
and being able to
you know,
campaign and put candidates up
Yeah.
and support them and ensure that they're.
it's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility, but then, okay, I think most people have done it before.
Yeah.
In the Labour Party, and we have got a chance, and Green Party as well. There's,
Mhm.
there's people who've come across from there, but then that's a big one. That basically means that regional executives, and I say regional in terms of national, or like Welsh national,
Yeah. Mhm.
Executives don't hold the power on this one. It is more constituency based, regional and branch.
It's less management, basically.
Yeah, and it goes straight to the
And I think
branches.
it's with a view in future that each constituency will have an organising staff member. Is the hope.
Yes,
That is, and
yes,
that
it's
was what they were
it's
trying to
that
do.
idea
Yeah.
from
So there will be staff
8, 9,
people
or
who
7,
can
8 years
assist.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be a paid person that,
Mhm.
and this is the thing when you talk about regions, in my head it's more like 4 or so constituencies
Yeah.
together that would constitute
North Wales,
North,
Mid Wales,
yeah,
South Wales, yeah,
for us, and
Yeah.
sort of like
Merseyside,
Midlands,
Yeah.
Midlands, or West Midlands, East Midlands,
Mhm.
that kind of, and have those sort of different regions
Well, we're pretty
together.
close now as a sort of civics issue.
Yeah,
We're and talking about UK law now. We're pretty close to having properly defined regions.
yeah.
It's
So,
taken a while, but we're nearly there.
but in terms of how the national politics and the different nations within the UK, then it just means that there's a little bit more grassroots level applied to it. So I do hope some of the people from the rest of Wales is understanding that, but we'll see. Next one: results of Central Executive Committee elections, the CEC. Option A, option B. A was the CEC shall be elected by ordinary members by English regions, which reserved elected members' seats for Wales and Scotland. Or B was CEC elected from ordinary members across England without regional differentiation, but reserved elected members for Wales and Scotland. The conference picked option A, which was regional
they bloody
based.
well should.
Ha 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 ha.
Why?
Hang on.
How can you disagree with that?
I'll come to it in a second.
Okay.
So this was seen as a win,
Yeah.
by some people, with option A being regionals, all regional areas having a selected number. 58.6% in favour, 41.4% against. They've gone to 1 decimal point for this, not 2. So maybe we can forgive the maths on it now. So since that, I've seen the Democratic Bloc
Oh yeah.
put a thing out saying now it's undemocratic
Oh right.
because the number, so there's 16 places on
Yeah.
the CEC,
Right.
so it means Wales gets 1 rep,
Yes.
Scotland get 1 rep,
Yes.
the southeast London and that whole sort of East Anglia region get 9.
Well, that's because they've got more people living there.
Yes, but now this thing is, well, that restricts people from the north, the Midlands, certainly the whole of the southwest.
Yeah.
Get 1, and that's a huge area as well.
Right.
So the argument is now, well, it's not taken into account that there's regional differences, like Wales, North Wales, South Wales, as an example, and to have 1 rep sitting on the national CEC is not enough, and there should be.
There's ways of resolving that without throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You increase membership of the CEC.
Yeah.
So if you increase, the more likelihood that other regions will have more members. You change what you mean by region, for example. So is London part of that region?
London is its own.
Right. That's a step. That's a start.
So maybe London gets 3.
Yeah. So they do it in different ways in different places. The best example I can think of is in the House of Representatives in the United States. Every state gets a minimum. No, Senate.
Yeah.
Every Senate gets every state gets a minimum of 2 senators, regardless of size.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
No,
I am talking about House of
get
Reps.
2.
Yeah.
So there's 100. Yeah.
Basically, you get a minimum, whoever you are. So another way they could do two things: increase the size, and set a minimum and a maximum,
or have a
or do all three, because that's the fairest thing.
Because I can see the argument from most of the regions, certainly in the north of England, West Midlands, Wales, Scotland, Southwest. I think there'll be complaints from all those regions.
I think they will. I think one of the issues is to me, when I read the constitutional amendments and the constitution itself, I wasn't sure what the composition of the CEC would be after the voting took place. It seems they haven't voted on the composition of the CEC beyond the regional issue. I would have liked to have seen, and I don't know why it wasn't voted on, a vote on who is actually a member of the CEC, because there was going to be something like 24 members with a sort of, the public office holders can be on there, and then also 16 members voted by the electorate. There were some motions going up saying, well, you can have an all members CEC, which I would have been in favour of.
Yeah.
So I think there's still going to be debates over this, which is important. But if that is the case, that's an issue, and there's solutions.
That seems
very basic.
The draft that the Den Block have gotten their hands on and published.
Minimum, maximums. That's it. Really.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
Or don't restrict. I mean, don't restrict the membership. So don't restrict that it has to be 16 members. Just say, well, each region has to have at least 2 members, and go from there. And then it just builds up to the size that it is.
Whatever it needs to be. Yeah. Okay, right, next one. So results of members who hold public office in Parliament cannot accept gifts, donations, or exchange or services above a certain amount, or work second jobs. How
did you vote on this one, Dav?
Well, hang on, let's go through the results first. Add a line in section 4 that reads the following: no member of the party who holds public office in Parliament shall accept any gifts, donations, or exchanges of services from any individual in a year whose total collective value is above £250. Nor can such members of the party accept any gifts, donations, or exchange of services from any business or organisation other than the party itself, their local party branch, or relevant regional party body. Nor shall they hold any paid job other than that of the public office holder in Parliament. That's what's been added. I voted against.
Why?
And 94.75 people voted for. 5.25%, including myself, voted no. The turnout was 9,422 with a 44% membership turnout. The reason being that this could mean that simple gifts could instantly get them kicked out of the party.
Yeah.
So, for example, £250 in a year from an individual. What if your mate buys you, I don't know, tickets to the West End show for the latest Dewberry, whatever the thing is, tickets for there, like £140. What if it's a birthday meal and a night out in the West End and whatever else? That's instantly.
Well, you're being bribed by your friend.
For a birthday,
they would argue.
Okay, and what if that same friend then buys you a Christmas present?
Exactly.
So, birthday Christmas present instantly could put you over 250 from an individual.
Yeah,
that's just, it's not practical. It means that every parliamentarian could be thrown out of the party for the simply taking a gift from you. Literally, if being very Machiavellian over something, I wanted someone out of the party who was a member, an MP, I could literally spend a year just buying this person gifts for birthdays and Christmas presents or whatever, keep the receipts, and then after the year, publish the fact, well, he's taken over £300 off me.
Well,
gifts.
Yes, and that's it. It's adding another layer of complexity on an already complex system. MPs already have to declare all their gifts and
and expense.
whatever else. Just because the public don't scrutinise that as well as they should, that doesn't mean we need to set extra standards on our MPs.
No, and
It's moral pluralism, and it's
and
ridiculous.
I mean, combined
Purism,
combined with this vote and other votes,
yeah,
I think we're creating a bad culture amongst potentially elected officials, and I'll go into that in a bit. With I think there's another vote coming up.
yeah,
And I'll explain a bit more about. But in terms of how you're treating your member of parliament who's representing the party as well as their constituency, because they are constituency members of parliament, they've got to talk about the whole of their membership. And this is another thing. What happens if a normal constituent who has no idea whatsoever about these party rules buys as a thank you, and this does happen.
yeah.
Parliamentarian,
they do casework.
They
don't
do casework.
Yeah.
A parliamentarian could do something very, very, very nice for a constituent, fight their corner over something. And I know of people, certain parliamentarians who've been get them a bottle of whiskey for Christmas as a thank you, or something. Some people do.
I've received gifts as a counsellor for the casework I've done for people.
And
not to the sum of £250.
No.
Yeah, but
it's obviously more sort of
not far
reasonable.
off. But yeah,
okay. This also includes the term of any organisation.
Yeah.
What if a local organisation, a charity, then a couple of times a year, because you're a trustee or some kind of fundraiser for a charity, say, and a couple of times a year they put a dinner on or fete on or some kind of thing where you're the speaker at, because you're there as an MP who's coming in, your name's on the marquee, but they treat you to a meal and a hotel for the night for bringing you there, and actually the bill for that is over £300 for one night. Are you expelled from the party then?
Well, under this, yes. I think the problem with this is that it's one of those things where they haven't researched the issue enough, and
it's on like a puritanical principle.
Well, yeah, and it just doesn't realise the extent.
Which way did you vote on this, by the way?
I voted against.
Did you?
Yes.
I thought you. To be honest, I thought you would have voted for it. But...
No, because. Oh no, I can't remember. Maybe I did vote for.
Very few. I was the only person in the courtyard who voted no.
Yeah,
and everyone has said. I
might be confusing it with the other vote that's coming up.
We'll come to the other one, but that is my reason for that. I think that is a ridiculously low bar to put down. £250 annually. You could do that in a night with some things, especially if, like, as just examples we've just cropped off the top of our heads. But anyone being malicious towards an MP or one of your party's MPs could quite easily get them thrown out the party quite cheaply as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. £300, bang, done. You're out. So there you go. Don't agree with that one. The next one was...
I can't find out how I voted. It seems...
Party name. No, it doesn't show.
That's annoying. Anyway.
Party name. So this was... Oh, God, this was bad. So there were 4 options presented to members. So for the people who are listening who aren't party members and just listening for a laugh, I mean, well done for getting this far.
Find something else to do. Sorry.
No, don't find something else to do. Listen to us while you go for a walk.
There must be some paint you need to watch.
Yeah. Hey.
Sorry.
Hey. I thought I'd been very entertaining and
No, we've made a very dry subject a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. And,
we're just gonna have to ramp it up a bit. Let's talk about more nonce jokes.
Let's talk about the silly names that were brought up. So that we were presented with 4 options of 4 names. Zara, by the way, in a conversation in the courtyard, because she was speaking very loudly, to interviewers and just passers-by, said that her options of what she wanted to call the party were not included. I know. Imagine that. So there's a stitch up there
vision,
as well.
Clear the lobbies.
Yeah, throw the dummy out the pram. Oh my God, the name I wanted. that's it. All decisions now that went her way are now null and void because of this.
Okay.
So it was a complete disaster. The options were A. These are the potential names of the temporary name of your party. The options were A. Your party. B. Our party. C. Popular Alliance. D. For the many.
Yeah.
How the stinking hell can you pick between all of those?
Why? Because they're all awful.
They're awful. All of them are awful. Apart from, okay, your party, because it's got a little bit of brand recognition now, and that's what you've got to think about. And changing, and literally, so A1, and obviously, because your party is the name of your party.
Do you know which one I voted for?
I'm going to say For the Many.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. That was my second second one, and that came third, actually. So A came first, so which is your party came first at 37.06%. Someone's doing 2 decimal places again. Very, very brave of them. C was second, which was Popular Alliance, 25.23, which I think is complete. That would have been a disastrous name. Populist Alliance? Popular Alliance? Why would you want to call yourself a populist alliance?
It's similar to the People's Party, isn't it? It's one of those kind of...
the People's Party of Wales?
Yes,
yeah,
similar to that kind of name, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then D was third at 23.52%. It's only just slightly behind. And the worst one of the bunch, which was the worst one of the bunch, which was B at 14.19%, which is our party. So it's ours.
Ours.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Mine.
Not yours.
Yeah, I think... Did Zara vote for that? I'm not too sure. We'll have to find out, because
Do you know what? They should make all votes public. There's another controversy.
Ooh.
Yeah. Unless it's to do with elections. You shouldn't have elections being public. But
or even conference votes.
No election. So
selected officials? No, let's not go into that.
Okay, that's another discussion for another time.
Yeah, you're getting into very, very, very nuanced left-wingy sort of things. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I think all the names are crap. There could have been so much better come out of it. And the thing is, this is the branding. This is the shop front.
Yep.
This is the name above the shop. And it's basically hasn't decided.
I think it's one of those things that's gimmicky. I don't think we actually have to pick the name. I think it's his movement. He started it. He picks the name, and then we all get to vote on everything else.
Well,
I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, For the Many, I thought the For the Many party. I just didn't roll
For the Many party. For the Many party. For the Many party.
Yeah, it sounds like a train. Chugging off.
For the Many party. Your party.
Yeah. No, I didn't mean
your party.
I didn't mean like a train tugging off, but it does sound like it. Your party.
Chugging off. Anyway. Yeah.
And then your party is just that's the brand there.
Yep.
Move on. And my thing was just vote for it. Move on. Get it out of the way. Next thing, Constitution. Oh, so that was the end of the day. That was all the votes on the Saturday. And then it was 90.28% approved. All those votes were approved. 9.72 rejected percent. But here's the thing: 31.17% turnout, less than a third.
Because it's pointless.
Of the membership.
It's ridiculous.
Ratified the Constitution. 6,941.
Do you know what annoyed me about that? And I have to say this because it really wound me up. I couldn't see the document as amended. I couldn't see the document at all.
It was just.
So how am I meant to vote on it?
Yeah.
So I probably voted against.
See, there was other things going around like vote against it because it's not what people wanted, and it's not. I just voted for it because I voted for it in the same respect that I voted for a few other things. Just get it done.
We'll
move on. The vote's done. It's been cast. This is just to say that everything's been done fairly, and as far as I can tell, it's been done fairly. Everyone's had a phone in their hand to be able to vote, so move on. Next one, political statement approved by 92.8%, 7.2% rejected again. So 30.21% turnout. That was 6,726 members out of the 55,000 that were verified. By the way, by the time Sunday came along, 1,000 people confirmed their identities.
Okay.
So it went up from 21,000 or so members to 22,265.
Oh, fair enough.
So because you actually had to verify your account and prove that you're
It's
actually
just pressing a link on an
It
email.
was pressing a link on an email, if anybody's wondering. So it's one of those things. But it gained a lower turnout as a result. So 30%. Let's see if anything got better. So the next thing. So this is the Sunday results. There were a lot of votes on the Sunday. The first one was strengthening trade union relationships. Basically it's just that the party will endeavour to try and move closer links with the trade unions, and 82.64% were in favour, 17.36% against.
Guess which way I voted?
Against.
Yes.
And why did you go against?
I don't think this party should be about having links with the trade unions.
Why?
Because they're their own thing. They're part of another party. They've got their own congress. I have very narrow views on what unions are about and what they should be doing. They should be fighting for their members and fighting for employee rights generally. And there's no reason why we need to have specific links with them.
Not special links. Cooperative links. But
yeah, no. Sorry, I don't mean.
But this
keep them in a separate
this
room.
vote was to say that there's an open door for them to come in.
Yeah, I quite like that approach.
But this will give them voting rights at conferences.
Yes, I'm not a fan.
And things that I'm not a fan of that.
They shouldn't have a special block,
which is why I why I voted against as well.
There we go.
I don't want to see what's happened in, like we saw in Labour, where you'll have a members-driven movement or campaign motion, and it'll get as far as a conference, and then the unions will just crush it without even a debate or a talk about over it. They'll just hear the four, they'll come up against it. No, we don't want this, and then they'll crush it. And you just think, well, what's the point of the party?
It just goes against the principles of a members-led party.
Yeah,
it just does, and that's why I can't agree.
So
with it.
in terms of having a link with them, fine, but which is the conference voted for, but there is
my view generally on that is that anyone involved in anything is allowed to be in the room and to talk to us, and we can talk to them. Yeah, but voting on things is a completely different matter.
Yeah, so I the same way. I mean, to be fair, I think that 17% voting against just sort of there's a little concern there, and just make sure it doesn't happen again. They can all come in and become a member, but they come in as a member and they have one vote. As they could be trade union member and your party member, but it doesn't mean they get two votes. Because of the Labour Party, I know people who've a Labour Party member, then they're a community union member, then they're a Unison member.
It meant during leadership elections.
Member, then
some people had like 13 votes.
They had all these votes from different fucking.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Sorry, swearing, but and it was just So no, we're not. I don't want to go down that road again. Results of committing to the fight for trans liberation. Proposing to add in bold to include and promote Palestine, anti-racist, trans liberation, and other social movements. 71% in favour, 28% against, with a turnout of over 10,000. So we're back up to 44% of the membership.
It's because we're talking about real stuff.
Yeah, this is policy stuff. This was a part of the amendment. I think it's the Standing Orders Amendment.
No, I think it's the Organisation Strategy Amendment.
Okay. I was on the fence with this one.
Can I guess why?
Yeah.
Because I think this may explain why the no vote's quite high.
Yeah, go on.
It's about not naming specific campaigns when there's a general emphasis on fighting against oppression or fighting in favour of minorities. There's much better ways of putting it than naming specific campaigns that we're obviously in favour of.
That is exactly why I was on the fence. Yeah. And it was a case of that if you name these struggles, and I'm not saying I'm not for fighting for these causes.
Mm-hmm.
My thing was, well, does that mean we're not fighting for other causes, or
Yeah.
because we've named it now
Mm-hmm.
that we can only fight for these causes and have it,
I agree.
you know,
I agree generally.
It's like prioritizing one illness over the next.
Yeah.
That
well,
they're all illnesses.
Well, this is it. And I think I voted in favour, weirdly, for the same reason, in that this is the organisational strategy document.
Yeah.
So I voted yes because out of all the ones I want them to focus on at the moment, Palestine and trans issues is quite high up on that list.
And I,
just because of recent events.
Yeah, and I think I voted yes, and I voted yes on the basis that.
But if this was a constitutional amendment or a political statement amendment, I would hesitate.
Yeah,
because I don't want to be bound
to this for you know.
And I'm bound to all of them.
There's got to be a little bit.
Anyone who's oppressed, I'll
because basically this is
unless you're Nathan Gill, in which case, do one.
Well, no, he can't. I mean, he's bound in a different way, but it's chains and a ball on the end of it. Right, so then there was that one. Then the next one was prepare for the May elections with a bold anti-austerity stand. So this was just, I think this was a non-argument. So
So there has been a debate, as to whether we're going to be ready to fight in the May elections.
Well, hang on. I think that's a separate issue to this.
Why?
This is saying that we prepare for a May election with policy.
I see.
So there's in the policy. So whether it's Wales, Scotland.
Oh, so whether we fight or not,
wherever we fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't matter if. So this is binding Wales's hands, the Senedd, Holyrood, Northern Ireland. If they do happen, I don't know what's going on there. I think that's a different subject completely. I think it's been. I think there's a few Northern Irish members that are fuming with what's been going on.
It's a very, very thorny discussion. Yeah.
That will.
It should have come up for vote.
It should have come up. Yeah.
Because I would have some things to say about that.
Anywho, with this is binding the hands of all campaigns, including council elections in the Midlands and in the Northwest, to say that this must be on all,
whether they go ahead or not.
This has to be part of the policy.
And even if they don't go ahead, we can still make the argument during the elections that that's our position and you should vote this way or that way, depending.
This is a policy decision.
Yeah.
This is probably the only policy decision that's been properly created. And 90.31% of the membership agreed with it, that we take an anti-austerity stance.
And again, I imagine the no's are just, let's not commit to anything at the moment kind of people.
And it's going to be
not sure how you can not.
I'd say the no's.
I can
imagine there were the people in Wales and certainly Scotland and everything would have said we don't want national conference telling us what to do.
But
and I know that's the argument from some people in Wales.
That's fine, but you can't be part of a unitary party then.
Yeah.
You have to go and be in other things.
Yeah, and create your own party.
Yeah.
Like the People's Party of Wales or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the next one. Where am I? So local elections and defending local jobs and services, another policy one.
Have you missed add anti-oppression?
Have I missed anti-oppression? Prefer an action bold anti-austerity. And then defending local jobs and services.
Oh, maybe it's in a different order. Carry on. Sorry.
I'm going on my... Yeah, no, that's further up.
Fair enough.
I'm going on my order, sorry.
That's right.
Proposed... So what's this? So this is defending local jobs and services. So this is council services. This is the thing. This is the difference between what's been proposed at conference. This is to do with like the Midlands Council, regional and Northwest and Manchester and all the rest of it. But it's binding also Wales and Scotland into this as well. I'm not necessarily against the principle, and I think a few more no's might have come about from that whole realization that this is binding. So that alongside so this is the thing. So what was there alongside mass community in the workplace organising, we will work to fulfil our legal and electoral Responsibilities including by maximising the number of candidates aligned to the party at the 2026 local elections, with arrangements for the nations of Scotland and Wales to be determined. So it gave that out, and then it's added. The 2026 local elections are a huge opportunity to stand your party candidates that can expose and cut across all the pro-austerity parties, not least Reform UK. To build for such a stand, our party branches should organise open public conferences, including representative of trade unions, community organisations, socialist parties and others. So that's bringing all the rest of them in, to discuss their local communities' needs and draw up a no-cut people's budget based on those needs, not Starmer's continued austerity. Your party candidates will pledge to take these issues and more into the council chambers, campaigning for a no-cuts budget that meets the needs of our communities and demanding the money to pay from it from central government. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, the vote was yes. 86.82% yes. 13.18%.
I've never
no.
seen. I've had quite a long friendship with you now. I've never seen you speechless.
I just after reading it, I don't see the point in it.
It's a bit
so
more than
wordy.
founding conferences.
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
so wordy, and it's obviously there's throwing Starmer's name into it.
It's forcing positive action as well. So the difference with the other one was, if you're going to run a campaign, it has to involve anti-austerity or non-austerity measures. But this one compels branches to do things, which I think is a little bit on the nose for me in terms of,
Well, I mean, this thing is, the way the structure is now, it's going to be that way. It's going to be the only top-down movement.
Yeah, they're going to have to direct a bit, aren't they?
So,
and to be fair, we've got all the money, so they need to direct us a little bit, don't they? But yeah.
So that's what's going on there.
But the substantive motion, I agree with. I just don't think it's appropriate this time.
Anyway, but then this is the structure. The only way that a top-down element of the party can happen is when the whole of the bottom is on the top and then tells everyone below what needs to do.
There's so many jokes, I can't even pick one out. Anyway, let's move on.
So, results of whether to endorse independent socialist candidates in 2026. Just simply, if we can't organise in time, especially in certain parts like Wales and Scotland, do we endorse independent candidates, and can we endorse independent candidates without being in trouble with the party? 81.53% voted for.
I've got a very different figure, but anyway.
81.53% for, 18.47 against. Why have you got a different figure?
I've got 71.79 and 28.21.
And is that where are you getting yours from? Is that the party website?
yourparty.uk/results.
I've got it, yourparty.uk/vote/results. So how come on the same party site we've got two different figures? The calculator's coming out again. So the membership was 22.828, so 22,828 total. We've got a turnout of 10,260 divided by the 22,828 equals 44.94% turnout, which is what I've got on my screen. And of those, so hang on, how many people voted? So those are the people who voted. Right, well, I can't figure out. They haven't actually said how many people actual votes either way. So all I can see is that 10,260 times 0.8153. Well, yeah, we got a near whole person, so I'd assume that's the decimal points.
That's Corbyn. Sometimes he feels a bit, down about himself.
Yeah, that's a 10-point difference there.
Yep.
So you've got 28% against on that.
28.21, yeah.
But I've got 18.47.
Yep. Don't know how that's happened. Interesting. Anyway.
Interesting that some of the results being reported are completely different.
Yep.
But either way, it's a for endorsing socialist candidates in 2026. Hmm. I feel like maybe some of these results might need double checking. How are they being ratified? How are they being checked?
No comment.
Yeah. Okay.
Normally you have tellers.
Yeah, who were the tellers? We didn't know who the
there's
tellers
independent
were.
tellers, and even when they do, big votes at Labour conference,
Yeah.
you still have people who are responsible for checking the results. Yeah.
How do we check
And
the
who are the
results?
tellers? Who do I contact if I notice a discrepancy? And there is no information.
Well, we have noticed discrepancies. So who are the tellers?
I mean, that could just be a publishing thing. I wonder if the page I'm looking at is the page, say, before they ratified everyone's vote. I don't know. These are very.
I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
so next one. Results of should national, regional, and public elected party officers holders be subject to a form of term limits?
Are we on standing orders now?
I don't know what we're on. This is
We
just
are.
the next in the line of the votes that were cast in the order that they were cast in.
Mm-hmm.
A was option A: an individual party member may not hold the same public office, national, party, regional, for more than 2 consecutive terms, and may not stand or return for the same position of public office before 2 of that office terms have been completed. If a member simultaneously a public office holder or party and party office demand to hold a leadership position, then their office term limit is put on hold until they fulfill that leadership mandate, after which that counter term in public office then resumes. So if a leader of the council, if they become leader of the council, then it's only 2 term limits as a normal member. The limit of a public office holder terms may be overridden by 2/3 majority of the members at a meeting of a relevant branch in advance of the relevant election. Or option B is there should be no term limits.
What result have you got?
I've got in favour 58.01%, against 41.99%.
Okay, yeah.
Is that what you got?
Yeah.
With this is amazing. This has just gone down. It plummeted to 33.37%.
Well, it's because you can't understand it. It's ridiculous.
But it's
a ridiculous notion.
This is a massive vote.
I know, it's a massive.
Because this actually will stops there being any grandees of the party in years to come. It stops.
But some people would say that's a good thing.
Well, how? Okay, in terms of how you communicate.
Well, what do you mean by
this? Is in terms of politicians. What a politician is set out to do is to build a trust and relationship with the community that they serve, and normally, in a normal way, is that they serve for a long. Some people serve for a long time,
so
and they're quite good at it.
Instead of the term grandee, you mean experienced party member,
yeah, and someone who can talk to the press or talk to the local people who they know because they've done the job for long enough, and in their experience can get things done. We're throwing all that way for newbies every time.
And this is the thing.
So there's going to be a whole host of green members coming in because it's the concept of everybody should have a go. Everybody should have a go. And the problem is with doing that is that a lot of votes, in the real world, come from people who are trusting people's track record.
Yeah.
So, I know that councillor is a good councillor. I'm going to vote for them again. Oh, yeah, but they're part of your party. Well, it doesn't matter because they're a good councillor. That goes now because that councillor, well, actually, I've done 2 terms, so it's got to be someone else now. And that someone else nobody knows who they are. And okay, they might give them a chance based on the party name, maybe. And if they do get in and do a good job, then fine. Otherwise, you are throwing away a candidate's chance of coming back in with the party to some other party's candidate who might be more trusted.
Playing devil's advocate, I do agree broadly.
Yeah.
It's this not just a protection, mechanism in the same way that recall voting is. So
then
if
have a recall vote.
Yes, I agree. So I agree with that. But to have a double mechanism where it can be overruled by 2/3. So if you're popular enough, if you are the grandee, if you know what you're doing, you should get that support from your party. Why is that not your party? See, I meant your party, lowercase. But from your party in that instance.
the thing is, I would have assumed, and wrongly now, that before any election, that any candidate would have to seek approval from the local branch, regardless,
Yes,
and then just go to the branch and just say,
and that's the preferable position.
I intend to stand for this seat again. Are there any objections, or are there anyone wishing to challenge that position? And most of the time, if they're doing a good job, it's probably going to be no.
Yeah, a better motion would have been party branches always get to vote on who's going to be the candidate in every local election,
and
election,
whether they return the same candidate.
Yeah.
To the towards the election.
And you could add protections.
This term limit nonsense,
very American.
Everyone's a president. There's a reason why the Yanks brought that in. Was it the 25th Amendment? I think it was. They brought that in because of a man who was so sick, who was still holding office, and the only reason why people kept voting him in because they were terrified.
Oh, Wilson.
No.
Oh.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Because he had polio. Polio. Yeah, polio.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wheelchair ridden for the last few years of his life. Well, quite a fair few years of his life. That's why they brought that in. We're not talking about sick people that are holding things together by the fingertips. When they brought the 25th in because it meant that they then had a line of succession of who ran the country,
and it was confirmation of a convention anyway, so it was already something there that was done.
Then it's the vice president, then it's the speaker, the leader of the Speaker of the House, and then it's blah blah. But then this isn't that. Isn't that, and I don't know why they've brought it in and worded it in such a way.
It's strapping on something onto an already crap set of standing orders, frankly.
Yeah,
and I've got problems with the whole document. So
this needs throwing out.
Yeah,
it needs chucking, and it needs rewording, and it should be actually the local constituency or small branch party constituency party.
Protect it.
Just needs to confirm.
Yeah, just protect that principle.
Yeah,
because that was the case in the Labour Party. But then what the Labour Party used to do was restrict who could stand in that constituency.
Yeah,
so members only had one vote or one candidate to vote for. So you just have to make sure that doesn't happen. And there's ways of doing that without creating this weird 2 terms limit thing. That's just not how we do politics in this country.
Oh, but we're doing politics differently. Next one, strategic priority for the 2026 English local elections. I abstained on this one deliberately because I'm in Wales. So option A, the party's strategic priority will be to maximise the number of candidates standing in local elections across England, so stand them all. Or B, priority will be to target and support and endorse candidates under its own independent socialist banner in a position to meaningfully contest for the seats. So basically targeted approach or general.
Yeah.
So A, go for everywhere. B, target specific areas where they're likely to win. B1. So it's 50.
Can I give us an option C that's actually in line with our principles?
Go on.
The local party decides.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts.
So this I did see it. I did, like I said, I abstained. It wasn't for me to decide. 56.96% voted B, and that means they've got limited number of candidates and targeted in certain areas, either under its own independent socialist banner or elsewhere in a meaningful contest for the seats. So I think, yes, I agree with you. I think that's wrong. I think it should have been for the constituencies to decide for themselves.
Well, they control the money. So how's that actually going to work?
Yeah, because
there's
now 2 orders that go against each other.
Yep.
They're actually in direct
conflict of laws.
They're in
That's an interesting topic.
Direct conflict of each other.
Makes your brain melt.
Well done, members, for deciding that. See that because of the vote on the Saturday, that should have been struck out for being illegible.
Yes, I have. Perhaps we can come on to this in the next, if there is an next. Well, no, there isn't going to be an next section. I have serious issues with how this has all been done. The whole thing.
There should have been a point of order at the start of that, and someone should have gone and said, "I'm sorry, this motion should now be struck out."
Again, it's one of those problems, decided. And I know people hate this, but this is one of those situations where there's just not enough lawyers in the room. People who think about how rules work.
Yeah.
And I don't mean lawyers in the sense of actual, but there needs to be people in the room who actually know how rules
But then
work.
you've got to be sortitioned in. I know, and then it's a random case of how many people.
Well,
with that kind of mind is actually.
Yeah, but that's why juries don't decide questions of law. There's like, anyway, I can't even contend with debating this because it's all just awful.
Well, this is the thing.
It's crap.
So far, I think we're the only ones who've actually gone through talking about this. In all fairness. So I hope you all out there are enjoying the podcast so far. We're just going to take a quick. We're actually going to have to take a break because we've actually gone over, and I need to save what we've done so far. So,
Okay.
So we're going to take a break. We're going to finish with the final votes, and then we're done. And then thank you. Right, back right after this. Hello, humanoids. Welcome back to the last section of this week's episode of the Two Left Feet, the unofficial Your Party podcast. We've just been away for a little break, had a little stretch of the legs, bit of a drink, and now we're all tanked up on whiskey and funs and laughs and all the rest of it. We are back with the last bit of the post-conference special, the big special that's not so special. I'm so special. It was only a little drink. So we're just going to finish.
Have we had a drink? I didn't know.
Well, I've taken every opportunity to have a drink. Should local parties' policy development be initiated? Is the next question. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm Dafydd, Vaughan, the host, and you are
Jabez.
Yeah, the co-host. Sometimes I forget to do things like this, but let's stay professional. Yeah, the next one is results of how should local party policy development be initiated? And the options were either A, policy development on local issues is initiated and voted democratically by members at a meeting at the local party affiliate or organised sections after deliberation at the local party assembly, or local policy initiated is determined online by voting systems open year-round for local member engagement. Option B won by 51.68%. against the 48.32. So basically, physical meeting or online portals. Online portals won with a 33.67% of the turnout. So 7,689 people voted on this, and just over 3,750-ish voted in favour. I can't remember which way I voted on this, actually. I think I voted for option B on this one. And what swayed me was that I think on local issues and engagement, it should be as open as possible.
Okay.
Because it doesn't restrict people. It doesn't restrict meetings from proposing their own proposals either. So from a physical meeting, you can still put proposals in for local campaigns and issues that need discussing. I think for members who, like we've experienced, members who pay the membership, don't actually want to go to meetings and talk endlessly about something, they want to get ahead and do something, they can post their own petitions and see if it gains support.
Okay.
And it brings those introverts out a little bit more.
I think the problem with this, in the whole,
yes,
there's not enough detail. So I don't know what policy development means in this context. I don't know.
Policy development, I think, is ideas for what the party should stand for or what issues that it should
be fighting for.
For example, I don't know, like ring fence funding for autism care.
Okay.
As an example,
that
could be brought from a single member on their laptop or mobile phone device, that they write the policy or policy proposal and stick it out there for people to see if they wish to endorse. And if it is endorsed, it goes further up the tree and it can be then discussed in meetings, and then other meetings can endorse it and then follow it to then crescendo.
If that's what that means,
yes, I think that's what that means. Yeah,
but you think it thinks that?
That's
I don't know.
I take it as being.
Yeah, the concern I have is it could also mean that We just get a load of polls thrown at us every so often, and we get a chance to vote on it. And I find that a bit. Well, it's not local party development, then, is it?
Well, I mean,
the part of local party stuff that was always missing from Labour.
Local?
I don't. The part from the part of local party stuff that I felt was missing from Labour, was the ability and the chance to talk about local issues and how we're going to deal with them. And we did this in Branch all the time. We tried to find local campaigns that we could fight for, and then that ended up not going anywhere. And I hope this means that things started on the ground in one part of the UK could eventually become more serious through a connected, integrated online voting system. But I just don't think there's enough detail, so it doesn't really interest me right now.
Okay, I think I took that as being can we use technology to take people's ideas?
Because the alternative option was pushing for this community assemblies thing, which I agree. I also agree with, but I think it's going to take more time to get off the ground.
We should do that as well.
Yeah, do all of it.
I think do all of it. I think it's about engagement and getting more members involved and having more routes to be able to express ideas. Because the thing is, and like some people said about conference, they were aghast with what was happening in conference, because the amount of people running to the front ahead of people to become speakers. Yeah. And then once they got up to the podium, they were shouting people down. There were some speakers, they were just awful. Yeah. And I mean, awful speakers, as well as awful in terms of how they were treating other people, members within the conference hall, and just shouting them down was not a dignified approach. And how
so maybe online voting would be better.
That some people might be better. Written words might be their forte rather than spoken words, and different skills, different personalities, and that should be the case. And this is why I liked it, because it allows others who are not so confident speaking, who sound, and I'll grant it, a lot of those people were nervous, and they were shouting as a result, because instead it was the only way they could actually speak, because they were screaming their words rather than calmly saying, breathing, because they were forgetting to breathe, half of them. And yes, written proposals and written amendments. Yeah, I agree with that. It's inclusive. It does
stop that internal meeting gatekeeping as well. That does happen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It goes to one small room, and then someone who's popular in that room shuts it down. Yeah. No, oh no, I missed that one. So the next one, how motions brought to conference, same issue, and it's option A. Motions are brought through local parties, so physical meetings, basically. They're only eligible to vote, so selected for hearing at conferences according to a vote eligible voters. So that's only at a meeting. Option B, motions for conference are brought in by members via online voting systems all year round. So there's two ways. You can either bring just physical meetings and local assemblies, or option for online as well. 61.61% voted in favour of the online method, so 38.39 against. Again, I was in favour. I voted for this, and it is for that inclusiveness of it, that it allows more people to be involved. And if more people are being involved, there's more ideas floating around, and more members are engaged to support more popular motions. So instead of these motions going through on the nod of a few people, it forces others to collaborate with other motion writers to form a more cohesive motion towards conference, and more popular things together might.
But the flip side of that is you have to sort out how motions are prioritized and voted on.
Well, so far it looks like the way by endorsement, because a lot of these that came to conference were what was endorsed.
But there's no indication on what level of endorsement you require. It's not the first 10 motions are the ones that will go forward.
I think it was the highest number.
You have to indicate the schedule, and you have to say the most popular of these will go forward.
Yes.
The most popular 10 or the most popular 5 or the most
Yes.
popular 6. They didn't do that. They just
I
said
think that's
endorse
what-
these motions.
No,
yeah.
I think that's what happened. It was the most
Yeah.
popular, looks like 20 or so.
Yeah, but they didn't say that to people when they were endorsing them, and they should have done.
Tell you what, now you can write a motion and submit it online and say exactly that.
Look, this is all very hindsight. This whole
You know.
discussion is, but I think if you're going to have this system, which I completely support, you need
Yeah.
very, very clear rules on how it actually works. Because as you've been saying throughout all of this, who were the tellers? How have these votes been
Yeah, we don't know.
tabulated? We've got no idea.
No, I mean we're looking
You
at
can't-
we're looking at the same website and we're getting two different values.
Yeah,
for
and
a
you
lot of
can't
these.
look. You can't have a more technologically advanced system and forget that the
Yeah.
rules are still needed. You know.
Right, moving on. So the next is the next mention for explicit mentions on transliberation. In Section 2D, Clause 2, replace Palestine anti-racist and other social movement struggles with the struggles of liberation of Palestine, anti-racism, transliberation, the struggles of all oppressed people.
And we already discussed that one.
No,
Oh,
it's a different one.
oh, is this the anti-oppression? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is... No, it's all on its own.
Okay.
So it's explicitly mentioned transliberation. Anti-oppression comes again.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I didn't even notice there was a second one, and there was a second one. 68.46% in favour, 31.54 against. I think exactly the same as before. I think this is actually in standing orders. I think the other one was standing orders. This is political statement.
Okay.
Anyway, turnout 46.09% overall. I think it's exactly the same, but it's mentioned twice now in two different documents. Next one, how do we choose members to go to conferences? So option A, party conferences shall be attended delegates elected by party branches, affiliates and thereof, or B, should attend delegates by elected party branches, affiliates combined thereof, as well proportion of delegates selected by sortition, reflecting the makeup of the party's membership, as defined or required by the conference remit. Which way did you go?
I didn't vote on this.
You abstained. I voted B, and B did indeed win, 67.08%. So that means normal sort of delegates from party branches and everything, but an option for normal members to be contacted and say, your name was picked out the lottery, you may also go to conference. It's necessary, I think, now, because it looks like most of the stuff's going to be voted on online, but at least it gives an option for people.
Yeah, so what's the point of delegates now?
Means you could speak on the subject.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So it means that the camera's on you, you can speak, you can go up and talk about on subjects. And I think when it comes to branches now, branches have to, and when I say this, I mean constituency parties, we've got to sort of figure that out in our heads as well. We are fighting elections meant to be. So constituency parties will have to think about who they want to send to conference to speak.
Yeah.
Not just to vote, because we all vote now. Mm-hmm. So it's not about sending people to vote, it's sending people to speak on subjects. That's going to be the most important thing. Yeah, so that's in favour. Any comments on that?
Many, but we'll be here for too long.
Briefly,
I think again this leads back to we need to have much more detailed discussion and rules on how all of this is actually going to work. We're talking about the sovereign body of the party, and we're jumping around. Yeah, I'm completely in favour of having all member votes. That's absolutely how it should work.
Yep.
But I didn't envisage that within the context of trying to keep things that no longer make sense or are obsolete, and also not deciding or figuring out how these online voting systems would actually work. And we have to sort that out. It can't just be a chaotic system like it has been this time.
Is it chaotic? I think in terms of the vote share that I see on my screen, so long as the tellers and the collation of these are accurate, surely this is the most democratic way to take votes from the party.
I didn't say it wasn't. What I said is that the resulting rules and things that you build out of this are now going to be very, very complicated in some ways,
because someone wasn't watching whether one motion could affect another.
Yeah, things like that. So it's just making sure
But
it all
then-
comes out in the
But then this
wash.
is the thing. This is probably why it's more important. The delegates to conference
Mm.
are people who would be observing those potential. I was going to say risk, but potential crossovers. So had you been there, for example,
Oh, I'm not saying that.
no,
I think
I'm just saying.
yeah,
Had you been there, for example, you
Mhm.
might have pointed out, well, that result
do you know
affects
what?
that result.
It's a shame with how the parties on the left work a lot of the time, because a lot of us are working.
Yeah,
You know, if I had more time, I had started drafting a sort of a view on the original documents and the number of crossover problems and
Yeah.
interaction
Yeah.
problems that you had, and the purpose of different documents as well, and how it didn't make sense. And I will finish it, and I will.
Well, I
send
think
it round,
it moves.
but it's extremely problematic.
I think I know what work you do, and you know you
Mm.
do very good work, and it's great work and it's fantastic work.
Fuck off.
Best work
Sorry,
ever.
I just swore them.
I just let one slip before. Don't worry. The thing is with how you do. I think what I'd advise you is yes. I think the party would appreciate your work in doing that.
Mm.
However, I would be very specific on which issues.
Oh, it's very narrow
because it moves so it.
Well, this is why there was no point doing it, because it's
already out of date.
Well, yeah. And they called it evolving documents, and that's fair enough. I'm now waiting for the final documents, which I imagine they're still trying to put together, because
I mean,
I imagine they need a bit of a rest.
Well,
but
then it's going to take 2 or 3 conferences to actually finish the documents.
Sure, but at the moment, it's problematic.
But then there's permission given that motions and votes can be handed out without a conference or without the need of a conference.
Well, there's also the question: do we want textualized documents, or do we want a living document? So, do we want a document that is interpreted within the context of the time, or do we want a document where the rules are clear and they're fixed? You know, there's all these sorts of questions which are very theoretical, but they will become, the Labour rule book, for example, massive, unwieldy document, which is completely ridiculous and completely interpreted exactly how officers wanted it to in each given circumstance. We don't want that in this party, but we don't necessarily want strict interpretation either, because that's boring.
Right, moving on. Next one, simpler recall for local parties. So members shall have a right to recall their local party officer by a majority vote in all members' meetings. So this is basically any internal or public official within the party or with the party name can be recalled to...
Not public officials. It's just local party officers.
Well, does that not include...
No, I don't think it does.
Okay.
Don't think it can do. How do you recall members of parliament?
I thought that's what this meant.
Oh, right.
Have
you got the full motion?
No. So this to replace section 3.1.10 completely with members shall have a right to recall their local party officers by a majority vote in an all members meeting. I don't have the original, so I can't see the context.
No, this is one of the problems. But anyway,
But I took this as being that, as in terms of party officers, that an officer also includes not just internal role holders, but also external role holders that are representing the party.
I don't think it can, and I don't think it does. Well, I think it just means
doesn't matter. Either way, 92.505% agreed with the motion and passed it. Fine.
I think it's interesting though, because you could have one meeting where they're elected and the next meeting they're removed. But maybe you need that. Maybe they're so bad they need to be removed. But
that they realise quite quickly these people are awful.
Yeah. But a simple majority seems a bit. But there we go. That's what they've decided, and that's overwhelmingly decided.
I mean, an interesting also fact that how if it's a chair of a local branch, how will they gain a over 50% majority if a chair doesn't call a meeting?
Well, you'll have. Well, this is interesting. There were motions which didn't go before conference about how meetings have to be held at least monthly and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you would have a rule that says meetings have to be called regardless.
But if this is the case, then and the chair knows that they might be ousted.
Yeah.
They just don't hold a meeting because they're not held to the fire for calling a meeting yet.
No, but then you would have a mechanism where other party members can call a meeting.
Yeah.
So the way it works in local
Not at
government.
the moment.
Well, I don't know. I haven't got the final document, so I don't know.
We don't know. So it being in principle, that's very good. But
normally, the way you resolve it is a meeting can be called either by the chair or 2 members, or 3 members, something like that. That's how local government does it. And other parties do it as well. The Labour Party, a meeting can be called by almost anyone, so long as it ends up being quorate.
True, which is 20%.
Yeah,
which is now, which I would say is.
And that's the best way of doing it.
How
really.
it's done, and 50% of those have to vote. So 10% of the local party would have to.
Because why should meetings be within the purview of officers? Surely it's the members and the rule book that decides when meetings are. So if they want to call another meeting because they need to, that's what the members want to do.
There we are then.
Yeah.
So
job done.
Next one. Results of who gets to vote on matters going to conference. Option A, voting matters and party conferences shall be reserved for conference attendees. All attendee votes shall be made publicly available through online party systems so they can be held to account by the local parties. Or option B, voting on matters at party conferences shall be open to all members through online voting systems accessible throughout conference time. So this is delegates vote or everybody votes on the phone like we did in the past weekend. 77.22% voted in favour of option B. We can all vote on our phones during conference. 22.78 against. That argument is they said you got to be in the room to vote. And to get the feel of.
But I like with that one, they offered a counterpoint, which was you can see the attendees' votes.
Yeah.
So they can be held to account. Which is
different.
Something we always struggled with in Labour, if you remember.
She
didn't know how they voted. You sent them off.
And then you didn't
go
know.
On, off to conference you go. Have fun. And you never knew what they had got up to.
Yeah, put your expenses in afterwards.
Yeah. And they did.
I certainly did.
Where
are we next? So recall.
I don't know because my list is
conference. Anti-oppression. So add anti-oppression as a principle. Section 2D, replace socialist and anti-imperialist principles with socialist, anti-imperialist, and anti-oppression principles. 46.98% turnout of the 10,729 people who voted. 88.64% voted in favour of this, with 11.36% against.
Well, why wouldn't you? You know, if you're going to add big words like anti-imperialist, why not add anti-oppression as well?
Yeah, I mean, anti-imperialist. I mean, there was a few people going on about that. Going, are all?
How long have we got?
I mean, are there any empires anymore?
So
surely,
I would argue the word they actually mean is anti-colonialist. So anti-settling areas that aren't yours, or taking areas from people who already live there. And that's happening in various places across the world. Yeah. The one they're talking about is Israel and Palestine, which is a real colonialist issue. Imperialism is the policy that is the ideology that comes out of colonialism, the belief that nations in some places are better than others, so they should rule them
and rule over other nations. And so anti-imperialist would mean that the UK would have to break up.
Yes.
Doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It means that Wales and Scotland should have independence. And that has now been approved in the documents for the party.
Well, there's also provisions in the documents at the moment talking about we support the unification of Ireland. Now, I have a position on that. It's not necessarily anti-unification of Ireland, but that falls second to there should be a referendum of both countries deciding whether that happens or not.
Should decide for themselves.
And that's the same in a lot of these places. What they're arguing for, if you're anti-colonialist, and I know we'll probably get comments disagreeing with me about this, anti-colonialism automatically means you're in favour of self-determination. That has problems in and of itself because of issues of territorial integrity and whatever else when it comes to international law. So this is actually adding words like anti-imperialist. It's just a nice way of saying we're against the bad guys, which I think's fair enough.
But who are
But
the? You can't say who are the bad guys.
If you're taking land off people, which is essentially what imperialism is,
yes,
you're the bad guy.
Okay, so we split from England, as in Wales, we split from England.
I would have to go back to I'd have to go back to Nottingham. Bloody hell, yeah.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah. But again,
sorry to the people of Nottingham.
Definitely.
But then that in terms of questions that I've had in meetings from people who support Welsh independence, and members of Yes Cymru and the likes, and obviously comrades in Scotland who believe in Scottish
it's not
independence.
automatic. You get a referendum. You don't.
No. But it's saying the position of the party is it's anti-imperialist. Therefore, the empire, the British Empire, what remains of it, should be disbanded.
No, well, this is why I think they need to be more specific. Again, with all these words that we've picked out, the ether, socialism being one of them.
Yeah.
Oppression. You could argue, what does that mean? But like the point is if Wales had a referendum and they voted in favour of independence, but then the British Parliament said no, that would then be imperialism. Because we've had the self-determined question asked, and Wales have decided this land belongs to us, the Welsh people.
So what you're saying is that by the definition of this term, that your party would support a referendum by principle.
Yes.
And would support its result by principle.
Yes. How couldn't it? How could it not?
Because there are members, and I know from surveys that I've carried out, there are members who would say disagree on any breakup of the United Kingdom.
Well, then they need to research self-determination and colonialism.
But it's in the constitution of the party now, anti-imperialist, and it does mean that the party does support.
We believe self-determination.
It means that it supports a second referendum in Scotland.
Well, again,
a referendum in Wales.
Well, this is where we now have conflict.
And a unification referendum in Northern Ireland.
Well, no, it doesn't. It says it believes in the unification of Ireland, which is quite different to saying we believe in having referendums to determine the question on unification.
This could be a whole. We ended up doing a podcast for every single one of these questions. Right, I'm going to move on because this episode needs to come to an end.
We're back to normal, guys.
Yeah, and that's actually the last one.
Oh, so thank God!
Pretty much, because then the last two was the ratification of the standing orders, which was approved at 89%, 10% against, with a third turnout. Ratification organising strategy was 93.72%, 6.28 against, and that was it. So those are your decisions. Overall, are you happy?
No. No, I'm not.
But 92.7% said okay.
Do you know in some legislatures in the world, they make, before they vote on a bill, and again, this term's used in our parliament where they'll say first reading, second reading, they'll read the bill out loud in the legislature before voting on it.
Yes.
That should have happened at conference.
Yeah. Well,
and if that had happened, it wouldn't have got 90 whatever percent.
Yeah.
These are poorly drafted. And I'm insulting the drafters. These are poorly drafted documents.
Well, why don't you help them?
Hey?
Why don't you help them then? If you think you could do better, why don't you go help them?
That is a very silly response to quite a serious point.
But it's not. It isn't, because there are people within the central organising groups which they're quite obviously either struggling.
That's true.
Because they haven't got the resources available to them or the knowledge available to them.
Mm-hmm.
Or they are fighting between different factions that are.
I think one of the problems is that if you get expertise in, you either have to pay them or indemnify them. So I can't necessarily provide advice without being protected in the advice that I give.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm willing to waiver that and whatever else. But in terms of it's time. This stuff takes a lot of time. It is extremely impressive that they have a set of documents which they're able to present to us
in 4 months.
In 4 months, which weren't completely crap.
Even though I have seen that the right wingers are saying that it's taken a year.
Right wingers can't count. Who knew?
But between July and now.
Yeah, I'll tell time. Yeah. But I think they've done extremely well,
Spell
but
them
these are not these are not what should be the final
Really struggle
versions.
to spell IQ.
And it's a shame that
You're nearly going.
it's a shame that we are in the position where we just have to accept these documents for what they are and try and work with them, but they leave so many questions unanswered. And I am going to write a critique of them.
Good.
Well, I might share it
I hope
on our little page.
Well, this is the thing. People listening,
it's really important.
It is important. Yeah. Again, people get in touch, find out what's going on, and look out for Jabez's critique. If he does do one, we will post it. We will share it, and maybe actually put it as a motion, because this is where we can do things. You can actually put your documents into the system.
This is true, isn't it? And I think that's
maybe,
a crucial
maybe
difference.
the listeners on this podcast who are party members can certainly from these podcasts understand where you're coming from, and how they're being written.
Yeah.
Maybe we can we can make a difference.
They were written because we needed something, and I don't chagrin that either, and I don't criticize them on that front, but they should have had more time, and it's our fault really as members that we wanted something to be done now. And
it's almost like someone was throwing the toys out of the pram, just demanding that everything happen
in
now.
Criticizing them,
not taking a slower, more methodical, reasoned approach over a couple of years. They found out about this pattern. They just wanted it now.
So in criticizing them, I am actually blaming myself.
Okay. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this week's episode of the Two Left Feet, the unofficial Your Party podcast. I've been Dafydd Vaughan.
I've been Jabez Oaks.
Right, until next week, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.